Hi, I'm Carlton from the Farmacy Seeds Network. I want to start a series of videos about foliar feeding for plants to address trace mineral nutritional deficiencies and to increase photosynthesis. But before we get to that, I feel like we need to lay a little bit of groundwork, a little bit of framing kind of. First of all, I want to say that I don't see insects as something that we need to use chemicals and pesticides to prevent. I see insects as an indicator of our plant health and our soil health. And when our plant health and soil health aren't up to par, those insects will attack those plants. There's a lot of science and research that's been done, and they found that insects primarily see in the infrared spectrum, and that when a plant doesn't have good trace mineral nutrition and isn't with balanced nutrition and good health, and when that soil isn't in good health, which supports good plant health, those plants stand out to those insects as though they were a bright red blip on the radar, and so they consequently attack those unhealthy plants. So insects are nature's garbage collectors, and fungi are her cleanup crew. So the insects will come in, they'll eat unhealthy plants, they'll kill what's left of those plants, and then those remnants that are left, the fungi, the saprophytic fungi, in other words fungi that only eat dead tissue, will come and clean that up and break that down to the smallest substance possible. Usually that's a humic substance. I could go into more science on that, but I won't for the moment. I really just kind of want to lay the framework here for why we use foliar feeds and how much benefit they can actually give us. So whenever you look at the system, you're always looking at plants and soil and biology and trace mineral nutrition. You can never isolate one and expect to have the effect that you really want to have where you would if you looked at the system as a whole. You always have to look at all those pieces. And so the reality is plants and soil have a very closely tied symbiotic relationship where plants feed the soil and soil feeds the plants. And the microbes and the biology and the fungi in that soil are sort of the interface between the two. So plants photosynthesize and they create sugars from that photosynthesis, and they send some of those sugars down to their root system, and those sugars go out into the soil and they feed the microbes in the soil. Those microbes then use that energy to extract nutrients from the soil, like rock minerals and trace minerals and things like that. And when those populations die off, those nutrients are released back to the plants, and the plants uptake those and use those for their nutrition. And that whole process and cycle continues on and on. So really, plants are feeding soil and soil are feeding plants, and you really can't separate the two. So I think that's the basic groundwork that I want to cover for foliar feeds. In the next video, I'm going to get into some of the benefits of foliar feeds and some of the things that you can do with foliar feeds that you can't do with ordinary feeds that you would do through the ground or side dresses. Foliar feeds have a really tremendous beneficial effect, and I'm going to jump into those in the next video, and I hope you'll watch this entire series and share it with other people, and I hope I'm able to explain it as well as I'd like to. If you have any questions or comments, please do so down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video or you want to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching the Farmacy Seeds Network.